Okay, what if you could create an entire marketing campaign and have it be perfectly on brand in just a few minutes? Sounds pretty amazing, right? Well, today we're taking a look at a brand new tool from Google that's designed to do exactly that. It's called Pomeli, and honestly, it's like having your own personal AI marketing assistant right inside your browser. So here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll talk about that classic branding bottleneck that, let's be honest, frustrates so many of us. Then we'll dive into Google Pomeli itself, and I'll even show you how you can get access to it. We're going to see how it actually learns your brand's unique DNA and then spins that into full-blown campaigns in minutes. And finally, we'll wrap things up by asking a pretty big question. Is this the future of marketing?
All right, let's kick things off with a problem that I'm betting is super familiar to anyone who's ever tried to build a brand or a business online.
So tell me if this sounds familiar. You pour hours into creating a social media post, or maybe an ad, and when you're finally done, it just feels, well, a little off, you know? It doesn't quite capture your brand's look and feel. It's such a frustrating feeling, and it's an incredibly common struggle.
And look, this isn't just some small annoyance. The whole creative process can be a massive time sink. I mean, it often feels like you need professional design skills just to keep your head above water. And the biggest challenge of all? Just keeping everything consistent, making sure your brand identity is solid across everything you put out there. We're talking hours of work for every single campaign.
So what's the solution to this whole branding headache? Well, this is where Google's new tool enters the picture. And trust me, this is where things start to get really interesting.
Say hello to Google Pomeli. So what is it? It's basically an AI assistant built to do one thing and one thing only. Solve all those branding problems we just talked about. All you do is give it a link to your website, your Instagram, whatever, and bam, it automatically generates entire campaigns and content that are a perfect match for your brand.
Okay, so at this point, you're probably thinking, I want to try this out, right? Well, Pomeli is brand spanking new, so access is still a bit limited. But I'm going to show you a super simple way you can get your hands on it, like right now.
Now, first things first, there's a little catch. The tool is currently only available in the United States. So yeah, if you try to get to it from another country, you're probably going to hit a wall. But don't you worry, there's a really simple workaround for that.
Okay, here's the game plan. First, you're going to need a VPN service. Something like Urban VPN is a decent free option. Fire it up and set your location to the United States. After that, just pop Google Pomeli into your search bar, click that official link, and boom, you should be in and ready to get started.
All right, now for the really cool part, the magic. See, this tool doesn't start by hitting you with a million questions and forms. Nope. Instead, it gets right to work by analyzing the very core of your brand, what we can really think of as its DNA. And believe it or not, this entire process kicks off with just one single thing. A link, that's it. You can pop in your website's URL, or hey, even a link to your Instagram page or your YouTube channel. Seriously, that's all the input it needs to get the ball rolling.
And get this, it is crazy fast. The tool itself will tell you it might take about 5 minutes, but honestly, in practice, it analyzes your entire brand identity in just about 1 to 2 minutes. It's so quick.
And this is where you really see the power. In that tiny amount of time, it completely deconstructs your online presence. It pulls your logos, it figures out your exact color palette and fonts, it analyzes the kinds of images you use, it even learns your brand's unique voice and tone. It basically builds a complete brand profile for you all on its own. It's amazing.
Okay, so once Pomeli has figured out your brand DNA, that's when the real fun begins, because you can immediately start creating entire marketing campaigns. We're not just talking about single posts here, we're talking about the whole shebang.
And it's so easy. All you have to do is describe what you want in plain English. For example, you could just type, "Generate a campaign for my new AI course." And just like that, it'll instantly spit out multiple campaign ideas to get you started.
And this, right here, is the absolute key. It doesn't just create generic, cookie-cutter content. No way. It creates everything while constantly looking back at your brand's theme, your colors, your fonts, your voice, to make sure that your branding is always, always perfectly on point.
But here's the thing. All this automation doesn't mean you lose creative control. Not at all. Once it generates the assets, you can jump right in and edit everything. You can tweak the text, you can change the colors, you can add a call to action button. You are in the driver's seat. And when you're happy with how it all looks, you just download the assets and they are ready to use.
Okay, let's just zoom out for a second here. What does a tool like this really mean for the future of how we work, for creators, for marketers, for everyone?
I mean, just look at this comparison. The old way, hours and hours of tedious design work, juggling a bunch of different tools, and always worrying that you're creating something that feels off-brand. The Pomeli way, though, it crushes all that down into a few minutes. It keeps you on brand automatically, and it's all in one place. The difference in efficiency is just massive. It's a total game changer.
And all of this brings us to one huge final question. You see, AI is moving way beyond just making cool images. It's starting to understand and even execute on core business functions like branding. So, I'll leave you with this to chew on. Are we stepping into a future where an AI like this isn't just another tool in your toolbox, but is actually an essential marketing co-founder for every new business?